Okay, 5 years solo full-time RVer, traveling by myself across the country. Here is my number one top tip for staying safe on the road, and it is super simple. Practice common sense. Yeah, it's really that easy. And I break that down into 3 different categories. The first category is being aware of your surroundings, and I'd say this one's probably the most important. You're going to want to be aware of the kind of area that you're staying in, like your surroundings, what the neighborhood looks like, and you're going to want to keeping track of what the people around you are doing. And this goes for wherever you're traveling, whether you're out boondocking out in the country or whether you're staying in a dedicated campground somewhere, whether you're filling up gas, going to a restaurant. Just be aware of what's going on around you. Like, so many times you can get cues from other people about what kind of people they are, and if you're looking out for those cues, you can avoid a lot of bad situations or uncomfortable situations even. Okay, the second part of common sense, securing your valuables. And this is also really simple. Like, you're going to want to lock your RV when you're gone from it. You're going to want to close your blinds so people can't see what you have inside it. You're going to want to be careful about where you're carrying your money on your person, of course. Don't show off your wealth, I guess, is a good way of putting it. And part 3 of common sense is avoiding situations that could be potentially dangerous. By that I mean, like, you want to be careful when you're out adventuring and doing stuff on your own, that you aren't going to have somebody to back you up. For instance, like if you go out hiking or some other outdoor activity, don't do something that's as strenuous or as rigorous. And if you still go do stuff like that, make sure you let somebody else know what you're doing and when you plan on being back, which might not help you in the immediate term, which is why I say that you should always be less risky about that kind of stuff when you're traveling alone. But then at least if you get injured, somebody knows where to come find you. And by this I also mean, like, you want to be careful of the places you're camping when you're by yourself. For instance, when I'm boondocking, I don't mind camping by myself so much because boondocking spots are way out in the middle of nowhere, and the kind of people that might prey on other people probably aren't going to drive 20-30 miles out to the middle of nowhere on the slim chance that there might be somebody there to rob from, for instance, or to take their RV. But like, for instance, in like truck stops or rest areas or that sort of thing, there are a lot more people going past. So when I stay in those kind of areas, I don't like staying in them alone. So if there's nobody else camping there overnight, I'll move on and I'll find somewhere else. Another thing that could fit into this category is not going out walking or such after dark when you're by yourself, particularly if you don't know the region. I mean, if it's a campground, then yeah, walking after dark is fine. But if, for instance, you're overnighting at like a Walmart or a truck stop, maybe you want to think twice before you go out wandering around in a strange area by yourself after dark. Again, just common sense. And one last thing I want to touch on, because I get asked about it a lot, is personal safety equipment. By all means, if carrying a weapon with you makes you feel safer about camping by yourself, then do it. But if you're going to be carrying a gun, please make sure that you know about the rules, the laws about gun carrying in the areas you're going to be traveling to, because it does vary from state to state. If you don't want to carry a gun, some other things you could think about is mace, or you can even use deterrents like having a pair of men's shoes sitting outside, or having some sort of stickers or something on your vehicle that make it seem more like you're traveling with somebody. The decoy type methods aren't something I use personally, but you know what? If it makes you feel safer about traveling by yourself, then by all means, do it. As I think a lot of people get stuck on the fact on what other people are going to think about their choices, but really it's all about you and what makes you feel better about traveling by yourself. In 5 years, I have never had an issue. I've never run into a bad person. I've never been in a bad situation. Are there people out there who have? Yes, it can happen. But statistically, it can happen anywhere, whether you're living in a house or traveling or anything. And it's always those bad stories that get reported in the media. Meanwhile, the thousands of people like me who travel all the time and never have an issue, you don't hear about us, but we're out here too. So in the end, I feel like common sense is really your best protection for traveling solo. Thank you all for watching, and safe travels and happy trails.